when you go to set up a business, people think you just set up a business and go. It's like fill out the form or whatever. But actually, a business has a life cycle just like we do. There's the birth, the growth, the years you're making all the money, and then there's the retirement. We won't talk about death right now, but anyway, no. The thing about it is that when you go to set up a business and you're a small business, realize once it's created, based on the type of business you are, based on how much money you've borrowed or how much money you've put in, is when you're trying to grow and get to establish income, you might start out as, for example, as an LLC, sole proprietor, or you are joining in with somebody else, you might be an LLC partnership. But as that baby quits crawling and starts walking, and all of a sudden you get that tax problem, at that point in time, that's where we look and say, okay, should we elect to be, for example, an S Corp or a C Corp? That's the first thing we would think about. If it is, then we can file the form to elect to go from an LLC, sole proprietor or partnership, to the S Corp without you having to recreate the world. So it's a very straightforward step. So then let's say at that point in time, wait a minute, we've got a business and a building. Well, tax-wise, you really don't want to put real estate and appreciated items into that S Corp. So we may at that point in time consider having the operations go into an LLC, elect to be treated as an S Corp with reasonable wages and be able to reduce our self-employment liability. And then we're able to have the rental property as an LLC partnership. So when that baby stands up, we may want to separate that off. And then as we have revenues, that's when you may want to look at retirement planning, which we would work with you on the tax benefit of that. And then as we get seasoned and we decide, wait a minute, I either want to sell the business, at that point in time, how we set up the elections makes a difference on the tax when you dispose of it. I kind of call it, maybe another way, instead of the birth, life, and death of the business, it might be, we got married back here, we want to get rid of the business, and that's kind of like getting a divorce. So when you're doing the planning, whether you look at it as a child or a relationship, either way, what you do up front can totally make a difference at the end, to the fact that it can make a difference in paying reducing your tax liability sometimes a third or a half when you go to dispose of it. You have to plan from the beginning.